I gotta share it.
Good afternoon. Welcome to this special episode of WLBT's Ask the Experts. I'm Kelly Boyd, live from the Hub with our very own First Alert Chief Meteorologist, Dave Roberts. Now, Dave, you're no stranger to the Hub, but welcome.
I love the Hub. I'm all about
welcome
the Hub.
to Ask the Experts.
Actually, the Hub is a great place. I will just tell you right now, a lot of great positive experiences have happened for me here in the Hub. I threw a party here in the Hub not too long ago.
You didn't invite me.
We had it catered. Oh, it's beautiful. And if you're interested at home and you'd like to have the Hub possibly as like a little party event for yourself, contact us here at the station. It's available for rent. There is a nominal fee you'll have to pay.
I have not heard about this.
Weddings, bar mitzvahs, whatever you want here, the Hub can accommodate you.
I think he has some expertise in comedy.
No,
as well.
not really.
No.
I'm very serious.
Some people find you funny.
Some people do. They're hard to find, those people, but they are out there. I do believe that.
Those have to be good people.
Kelly, thanks for having me on your program.
Thank you so
I have
much
seen
for
this
being here.
before. It's wonderful. We also have David. I still can't pronounce his last name. I worked with him for about 5 years. How do you say it?
Brett time.
See, I would have never said it like that. But he's doing a great, there he is, that's the hand. And he's doing a great job too. A lot of good people here at WLBT, and I'm really very pleased to be able to work with all of you.
You're so kind. You know something I noticed when we were doing these graphics?
Please.
You have the longest title in the station.
Yes, I do. Yeah, well, you know.
CJ comes second, but I guess that's because he's also a chief.
Yeah, well, that's true. I forgot about that. Well, I apologize if it cost you any extra pain.
Oh, no, not at all.
We're not being charged by the letter, are we? Okay.
That's a good idea. No.
You never know.
Okay, so.
By the way, this is water for anybody at home that's questioning what's in here. Just making that clear.
These are keys.
Well, don't drink those. Otherwise, we could have a different kind of Ask the Experts kind of show.
Well, we have doctors on here all the time.
I know, but I mean, I really don't want to spring into that mode. I wasn't looking to do that.
You haven't been trained in that?
I've trained. I mean, I have Google and YouTube, so I'm definitely trained as a medical technician. Let me straighten out my tie here for the show. Big show.
Well, we have some good questions for you.
Yeah.
The questions come from the Ask the Experts page.
So can people ask questions right now, or no? This is sealed. It's done. Whatever they submitted, we have to go with.
No. So what we have comes from the Ask the Experts page on WLBT.com that everyone can join, as they already have our conversation live on Facebook. This lives on our website afterwards, as well as our OTT channels.
Very nice.
Roku and Amazon Fire.
Wow.
For you guys at home.
Yeah.
Okay. Hilda. Hi, Miss Hilda. Hello, Kelly and Dave.
What's going on, everybody?
Lots of hellos. No questions over here yet.
Okay, that's
fine.
Hello,
Long Beach, Mississippi.
Woo-hoo.
That's right. I'm actually past Christian, but we're coasties.
But right here.
All right.
Weren't you Miss Long Beach 2017?
I was not.
No? Oh, okay.
I wasn't.
Huh. Thought that's what your case was. No, David, you told me that. No? He didn't tell me. Okay.
So your first question, it's not about weather.
What?
Uh-huh.
Wait a minute. Hold on.
It's personal.
What? But I have to be an expert. I'm not even an expert on myself.
No, you're not an expert on your personal?
I can barely make it to work on time every day. All right, what's the question?
What's your dog's name?
Reese.
Reese.
And so I adopted Reese. I don't know if that's another question there, but I adopted her recently. First, so the story goes, I'll tell you my little Reese story. Are you interested?
Of course.
David, are you interested? Yeah, he's very interested. He's just nodding his head.
Well, someone's interested. And actually, the next question is, where did you get your dog?
So I got her from an animal rescue in central Mississippi. I think it was Mississippi. I forget the name of the organization. I apologize about that.
Moral?
No.
No.
But so she was brought to me as a foster. Mm-hmm. She was living in a crate.
Oh.
Yeah, and it was really sad. She was very timid. She had her ribs showing.
Yeah, I remember you showed pictures.
She spent the winter basically out in the wild, and she had showed up at somebody's house, tried to paw her way in. He couldn't take care of her because he already had a dog. So they knew I was looking for a boxer. I love boxers. I used to have a boxer for 13 years. She lived to be 13, which is quite old for a boxer. So the opportunity presented itself, and when I saw her, I was like, oh, I don't know if I could take care of her. I don't know. The first night I took her home, we walked around the house. I showed her around the house. I was like, hey, give her a little tour. Mm-hmm. Gave her a tour of the house, and she climbed up on me, put both of her paws around me, and hugged me and gave me little licks and was groaning. And I just was like,
I remember you telling me this story, and I was like, she's not just going to be a foster dog. She's staying.
The next morning, I made the call, and I said, after filling out the foster work that night, I said, okay, where is the adoption paperwork? And so she, but she's been great. She really is she's just a sweet dog, and I can only think of adopting a dog. Personally, I just don't believe in buying, but that's me. But there's so many dogs that need a home, so many animals that need a home. And I would take more in if I had the time. But I've got this job, and it's crazy, this full-time job.
Send your dogs to Dave.
Yeah, no, don't send your dogs to me. But I'm just saying that I would, if I won the lottery, is this one of the questions? If I won the lottery, and I'm hoping I do. If I keep saying it, if I won the lottery, I'm hoping that I will win the lottery. I would definitely buy a large farm, a large piece of property, and have like a whole bunch of dogs.
Aww.
I'll hire a staff.
Awesome.
I don't know if you're looking for any extra work.
Because you'll still do the weather.
Right. Well,
okay.
How much did I win? That's the question. But you'd have
3.5.
3.5. No, you're not going to see me again. Sorry, no offense. No. But I would hire David. Even though he's not looking for a job, I would hire him. I would hire you. He is not. I need him. Okay, I would hire you too. So there you go. And you can hang out on the farm. It'd be a really cool farm. It'd be really good. Now, I'll be at the farm sometimes, but I'm going to be traveling quite a bit. So I'll come in. I'll say, hey, how are the dogs doing? You'll answer the question. And then I get back on the private plane and fly wherever I'm going to go. I got it all figured out. Why do you act so surprised, David? You're looking at me with doubt. Why do you doubt me? Why does David doubt me? I think that's one of the questions.
Heather is asking, how is your fur baby? Because you're talking about your fur baby.
Well, okay, so she's doing fine. We have a little issue with her in general. She does her business in the house.
Oh, no.
A number one or a number two, sometimes both. She does it close to the pee pads, but it doesn't seem to help very much.
I had a dog that used to do that.
Really?
They'd go right beside the pad.
Beside the pad,
Just right beside it every time.
She gets it. She's getting it. She goes on the pad, but she misses quite a bit of the pad, too.
Oh, okay. You need larger pads.
No.
I need put a few...
I'm between now a pad and a limo cover. That's how... This dog is taking up a lot of space because the pad gets completely soaked, and then what she does is she sometimes goes between the washing machine and the dryer. So I've got to lift it up, which is good. I need the exercise. So I got to lift it up with one hand, and then I mop with the other. David, are you getting the mopping part? Make sure people can see me mopping. So, I'm holding up the washer, I'm holding up the dryer, and I'm doing the best I can. But she's a handful. I'm not going to lie. But she's a great dog. She's a good dog. She doesn't have a bad, mean bone in her body.
Aww.
I love her to death. And she sleeps on me at night. And somehow in the middle of the night, she's glued to me at night. But at some point in the middle of the night, she gets up, she goes and does her stuff all over the floor. Then wakes me up at 6 o'clock in the morning to pretend to go outside. We go there, and then, of course, I find, look what you did.
Nice little surprise. So if you have tips on potty training for pups for Dave here.
I'm at the point now where I just need to know who makes the best mom. I've done more.
Or if you know about that.
Yeah. My house smells like a hospital, to be honest with you, because I'm always cleaning. So, yeah, it's a rough life. I want you to feel bad for me. I really do. And hopefully it's working.
Gosh.
Oh, she cut herself. So somehow yesterday or the day before, she cut her paw.
Oh, no.
It's a pretty significant gash. It's on this arm, actually. It's on this. This is my front right paw. So on her front right paw, she cut herself pretty bad, and it wasn't bleeding. I never saw any blood. She never cried. She never complained. She didn't do any weird barking. So yesterday we were doing our little wrestling thing, and I noticed a pink color. So I flip her over. Sure enough, there's this gash. Horrible. I won't show pictures of it on Facebook because this is a family-oriented program, from what I understand. That's why it runs in the afternoon, right? Right, so the whole family can enjoy it. And so I saw this gash, and I said, so I called the doctor, brought her in this morning. They gave her stitches. She put up no fight.
Stitches?
Yeah, they didn't sedate her. They didn't do anything. She was completely cooperative. But as soon as they put on her bandages, she starts, she's
trying to get them off.
So we now put the little space cone on.
Oh, no.
So she looks like she's like an astro dog, like she's going to go to Mars.
Are you going to share that picture?
Yeah, I did.
Oh,
I did.
I'm sure she really appreciates that.
She's mad at me. So I went to say goodbye to her on the way to work, and I was like, bye, Reese.
Does Reese have a middle name?
No, but she has nicknames, and I'll share the nicknames with you. Reese Bear.
Reese Bear.
Reese Bear and Reese-a-roni.
I told Dave to turn my mic down on purpose. I said, Dave's going to make me laugh.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Did she really tell you that?
I did.
Wow. Is her mic off right now? Okay.
No,
Anyway,
I just told him to
so-
lower it.
Yeah, so Risa-Roni is what I call her.
Risa-Roni.
Yeah.
Off the dog topic, Charles Morgan asked, what are the odds this year of the Gulf Coast being hit with a major hurricane? Please say slim to none.
Well, in all honesty, there's always every year, there's not a big chance, okay? There's never really a big chance of a major hurricane, as you asked, hitting the Gulf Coast. This year, there is a slightly elevated chance of it happening. But I'm going to tell you right now, we've been benefiting by an El Nino weather pattern that's been expanding a little bit. El Nino is when the Pacific Ocean is warm, and in that case, the Atlantic Ocean is a little cooler. So anytime that happens, all right, that means the energy is kind of robbed from the Atlantic Ocean and it's in the Pacific. As long as that happens, it's usually good news for us. It means a quieter hurricane season. But if you remember a month ago, we had a lot of activity taking place. And the Gulf of Mexico is plenty warm right now. There just hasn't been a lot of development. Now, we're in the middle of August. So this is kind of not fair to say, you know, we're going into it. But typically, August is the third busiest month in hurricane season.
All right.
September's first, October is second. So keep that in mind, that if you're looking at the core of hurricane season, we're really only through about 20% of it.
All right.
So there is that chance. But a likelihood, it's not likely, but there's a better chance than normal for this year, especially if this El Nino starts to subside, which we'll see in the next couple weeks. Right now, though, there's just not been a lot going on in the Atlantic. It's been pretty quiet the last couple weeks.
Which is good news.
Yeah.
So, let's see. Mark Ainsworth asked, please tell me, when is the cooler weather coming?
There's this thing called October.
Right.
And it is scheduled the month after next, David. Could you check on that? Could you Google that for us?
4 months.
A
It's 4 months away. October's 4 months away. David just checked on it here. So cooler weather will be on the way.
And yeah.
October. Actually, I don't see it for the next couple weeks. I'll be honest with you. I don't see any cooler weather for the next couple weeks. We are really in the thick of this hot weather pattern that's going to be gripping us.
Speaking of, Kiki Williams says, when are the heat advisories going to be lifted?
They were lifted today. There's a couple that are still on for South Mississippi. But I will say this. Tomorrow and Friday, despite the fact that the chance for rain is going to be very slim to none, temperatures are going to soar again, mid-90s, maybe upper 90s. So it's going to be quite hot. And then this weekend, the humidity is going to be back, so it's really going to feel quite hot.
Okay. Valerie Caesar, I'm not sure what a normal temperature is. You're the expert, so maybe you can tell me. She says, when will we see normal temperatures?
Well, the normal high this time of year is 92 degrees.
Okay. Yeah.
So yesterday we were 99. And here, when it's 99, the
feels
humidity,
like 117.
it was. Yeah, it was actually between 100. We had a lot of places that hit 117 yesterday, actually, in the heat index. 114, 115. People ask me all the time, well, that makes no sense. You said the temperature is 95, but it feels like 110. So it's 110? No. The way the temperature, what the temperature is and the way it's perceived are different things. You ever notice, like in the winter, you say, oh, it's a dry cold, or it's a damp cold.
Right.
That's wind chill, and the same thing is true when you're talking about heat index, because when the humidity's low, 95 degrees doesn't feel great, but it doesn't feel so bad in Mississippi. When we got dry air and it's 95, that's tolerable. When it's humid at 95, it's like you walk outside and you feel it.
Right.
So how your body perceives the temperature has a lot to do with what the heat index is, what it really feels like.
Right. Great. Okay, let's see. Shelters. We had another question over here. I thought I saw one. Well, we'll come back to these in just a moment. We're going to get back to our questions from the Ask the Experts page. How did you get into weather?
Well, I tried to get out of it, and they just brought me right back in. No, I was in college. I was actually in high school, and I was an intern at CBS in New York.
In high school?
In high school,
That's awesome.
That's what I did on my weekends. So I would go down to CBS. I would do work in the weather department. Things were a little different then, technologically. So I would do that, and I got very exposed to the television business. And I said, maybe I'm going to do this. Then I did some interning at the National Weather Service. That expanded my interest in meteorology. And then when college came around, I got into it, But I really thought by the time I was done with college, I thought, okay, I'm not going to be this. I was going to do something in radio or something else. But my first job out of college was in television. And I'll never forget, I only sent out one application. I sent out one resume tape, and it was for a TV job, and they hired me. So I took it. That was it. That's as complicated as it gets.
Interesting. So you mentioned technology.
Yeah.
What's the biggest advancement since you've been in the business?
I mean, the ability for us right now with the graphics is just incredible. When I started, moving graphics were very difficult to come by. Realistic maps that we have today are excellent. Back when I started, all maps had to be rendered in this horrific, time-consuming way. And the fact that now most things take very little time to do, and we can make the weather seem so real to you, is really kind of cool. I mean, now, really, a weather presentation is almost like a video game when you think about it. I mean, you have these graphics you can use to really depict the weather, to warn people. The technology is just so different. I mean, it's not the same business I entered. I'm not that old, by the way. I haven't been doing this that long, but the technology changes quite a bit over a short period of time, especially in almost every field probably, but especially in television.
So should all the kids and teens out there that love playing video games, should they maybe check this out?
I'm not encouraging, I don't want to encourage that behavior. I don't want parents getting on my case, but certainly I would tell teenagers, I would tell kids of all ages, you keep your mind open. That's the most important thing. Right now, these you want to be a sponge and take in as much information as possible, because who knows what the world will be when you graduate. You know, if you're just going into high school now, whatever you think you're going to do probably is not what you're going to wind up doing after high school, because the world changes that quickly in 4 years.
I've been on school visits with you. You have actually said that.
That's true. It's just true. I'm just being honest.
Okay. So what made you move to Mississippi? And we'll first tell everyone where you're from.
This is Mississippi? I didn't.
Did you make a mistake?
I didn't. Nobody told me that. Well, this is not my first time living in Mississippi. So
Okay.
I've lived in Mississippi a few times. I keep escaping. I like Mississippi for a lot of reasons. I like Mississippi because the people are friendly.
You love the coast.
I love the coast. But I'll be honest, I came back here about 10 years ago now, and I've always had a special place in my heart for this state. The people are friendly. You can't get a good meal anywhere else. The food is really tremendous.
I knew
here.
that's what he was going to
Well,
say.
it's the truth. I mean, you know, when I have people come visit me here, they're blown away by it. They're like, I gotta get out of here. I gotta leave. I put on 15 pounds since I've been here, and I got here yesterday. So, you know, for that, those two things, food, people, and the other thing is the weather. Now, I know what you're saying. The weather's crazy here. It's not really crazy here, but it is interesting and it's challenging. I like the winter, so long as it's sunny and in the 60s or 70s. I like the spring and the summer, too. I'm not a fan of severe weather. I'm just being honest with you. I'm not a fan of severe weather because
well,
obviously...
probably you're at work around the clock.
Well, okay, yeah. So, right. The bottom line is when the weather's severe, people's lives are in jeopardy. We never lose sight of that. It is a tremendous amount of work. Now, when I say tremendous amount of work, I don't go to work every day with a pickaxe, okay? Did you know that, Kelly? I don't go to work with a pickaxe. Do you like this motion? Okay. I don't know what, yeah. Anyway, so it's mentally, your hairs are flying around here, Kelly.
My hair?
You need to control yourself.
What's going on?
As far as the mentally, it's a big drain on you because there's a lot of coordination. But I'm very lucky because I work with some great people, and they really are fantastic. I'm not just saying that either. I'll be honest. I've worked at places where I didn't like the people. Just being honest. I've worked places where I just did not like the people at all. Probably that's the reason why I'm not there. Here, I really do enjoy the people. We have a good kind of, you know, everybody just kind of gets along and is playful and you know, when it's time to play, it's time to play. When it's time to work, it's time to work.
How did that affect how you interacted with people? Because you're so easygoing and make a lot of jokes around here and try to make people laugh.
Life is short, so I believe you have to have a good time. I think life is way too short, and I really believe this. It's like every day that goes by that you have not enjoyed yourself, you're never going to get that day back. Of course, there are a lot of serious things that happen in life. There's upsetting things that happen in life. to everyone, to people around me, to me, myself as well. But it's how you kind of flow through it. Mm-hmm. You know, and I always haven't had this attitude. It's an evolution. It's a Dave-evolution.
So you weren't this way at the place where you didn't like who you worked with?
I mean,
you tried
I think I was, but I think the people just stared at me like, who's that guy?
Tiffany Truelove said, good afternoon from Yazoo County.
Hey, Yazoo County.
Miley Sophia says, they love you, Dave.
Aww.
You're the #1 weatherman.
Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate it. We love you too.
Did you pay her?
I did. I did. You'll be getting your $10 in the mail here.
Rebecca Welsh watches Patrick in the morning and you in the evening.
I appreciate that, and I'll tell Patrick that as well. We appreciate you watching him. He does a great job in the morning.
And dear, sweet, lovely Miss Hilda Tompkins asks, where are you originally from? Because we asked what made you come to Mississippi.
Well, okay, so a lot of you folks probably have, found this on the internet. I was a biological experiment that they did at Area 51.
Stop it.
I was hatched, and there was an accident, and I escaped. And I was raised by a pack of wolves.
Come on.
No, I was, and here I am today. Now, I grew up in New Jersey. My parents were very supportive of my career choices. I haven't talked to them in several years. No, I'm just kidding. My parents were very supportive of my choices. Mm-hmm. My father used to joke around with me all the time from when I was a little kid. He used to say, you always have your head in the clouds.
Oh.
Literally. I mean, literally. So he was never surprised that I chose this as a career path. But I grew up in New Jersey, which is east of Meridian, for those of you that don't know where it is. And it's actually northeast of Meridian. Mm-hmm. And I lived there, and then I moved here. Ironically, you want to hear a weird story? So my next door neighbor in New Jersey lives here in the Metro Jackson area. So when I first moved down here, it was like, yeah. So
you know someone from
so
right
we're
next
hiding.
door.
We're hiding amongst you. Okay, just let you know that.
Jersey guys.
Yeah. But we're there, and I really do love living in the South. And I've been here. Mm-hmm. I was here in my 20s. I was here. I moved back here 10 years ago. So I've spent quite a bit of time in Mississippi. I think I've spent probably more of my career in Mississippi than anywhere else. Most of my career has been in Mississippi and Florida. So.
Okay. It's coastal areas.
Did I answer your
yes,
podcast? Okay.
Of course. Yes. Okay. So what are your hobbies?
What? Hobbies? What? Huh?
Outside of knowing what types of clouds there are.
So cleaning up after my dog. That seems to be my major hobby right now. I'm really getting good at it. Photography. I do a lot of scenic photography. Sunset photography. There's a sunset going on. I'm all about it. Like, do not try to bother me 20 minutes before a sunset. If I know there's going to be a good sunset, I'm taking pictures of it.
What kind of camera do you use?
It's called an iPhone. I seriously,
You can get some.
I've talked to so many people. I've talked to so many people and said, "What kind of camera should I get?" And people do make these suggestions, but they're it's $1,000, $2,000. And then finally, a couple of people have said, "Just use your iPhone. Just it's the best camera out there." So I use my iPhone and I get it blown up. I have canvases. I have all kinds of different pictures. I mean, I'm into the photography more than just taking pictures. My other thing I do is landscaping. I love.
You're an expert on palms too, right?
I grow palm trees. I grow them, and you can grow them all over the state of Mississippi, just so you know. Mm-hmm. So I'm really good with cold weather palms. I grow a bunch here. In central Mississippi, I have some citrus trees. I grow oranges up here. I have not produced any oranges this year, but when I lived in Ridgeland, I used to live in Madison County, I actually had an orange tree that would produce, and I would bring them into work, and people were blown away. And I'd be like, I grow these in Ridgeland. And they'd be like, what? Yeah. So you can grow citrus around here. There's a lot of different things. Mississippi, I call Mississippi the land of the confused trees. Because the climate really it could be cold for a little bit. It could be really hot. And, winter can never make up its mind. So the trees don't know whether to lose their leaves. Mm-hmm. And so I really enjoy
They
being
don't know
outside.
what color they should be sometimes.
They don't. I like it, and I like it when it gets cold for a couple of days, and that's it. For instance, I like the first snow of the year, which we only get sometimes one snow. Right. After that, I'm done. I'm not interested. But with that first initial snow, that's so nice. Get a cup of gumbo, sit back and enjoy it. But after that, no, I don't want to be in it.
Yes. Look, I've been missing home, so I've changed my house to kind of a beach look. So I'm going to have to get one of your beach sunsets.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
you can sign it for me.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And speaking of the type of weather you like, Farrah Cox has asked, she's got 3 questions.
Oh, 3 questions? I think we should limit her to 2.5.
Oh, my. Okay, well, 1 can be the same.
Okay.
What is your favorite type of weather and least favorite?
Okay.
And then she asks, is there any type of weather that truly scares you?
Okay, these are great questions. Least favorite, flash flooding.
Ugh.
It's just, this torrential rain over and over. It's too much of a good thing. You know what I'm saying? So I lose interest in that. My favorite weather, honestly, I love it when it's 70 or 75 degrees and sunny.
Yeah.
I'm lame. Okay? I know there's some meteorologists who would say, I love severe weather. I like sitting outside with a good thunderstorm going by, but I don't want it to be life-threatening.
Right.
And the other question was, what weather scares me? There's only one kind of weather that scares me.
What's that?
Lightning.
Lightning.
Do not like lightning. If I hear thunder, I am not interested. I am not one of those people. I do not want to be on the news twice in one day.
Oh,
you know
no.
what I'm saying? I don't want to be. I do not want to be struck by lightning, and I will tell you that lightning is. It's to be taken so seriously because you could be standing 10 miles away from a storm and you could get struck by lightning. It's indiscriminate. Tornadoes, I don't really fear them because I know I'm usually not in the path of them. I also know that, even though we do have deadly tornadoes here in Mississippi, most of them are not. But lightning, you get one shot, literally. And so I don't ever want to be in a situation where I'm struck by lightning because I know how catastrophic it can be. In Florida, I was on one end of a pool. I was outside of the water, and lightning came right across me and hit a palm tree on the other side, and I actually saw the tree melt to the ground. I've never seen anything like that in my life.
Wow.
It stayed with me. Has
that been since your sort of phobia of
it's not
lightning?
It's not a phobia. It's not. I acknowledge it. It's a phobia is something usually you can address. I don't want to go out there and get struck by lightning and say, okay, I'm over it. No. So it's just something I take seriously. If there's lightning going on, no, I'm out of the pool. I'm inside the house. I'm good.
Any tips for those types of?
I tell people all the time. I tell kids all the time. I was telling kids. When I was speaking in schools before the summer came around, I said, remember, guys, when thunder roars, go indoors. All right? And it's so important because lightning is a killer, and it's not something to play with.
Adam asks, so you don't like taking pictures of lightning?
I will take pictures of lightning, absolutely. As long as there's a window between me and the lightning, absolutely. I'll do that all day and night.
Love it. Marcus Floyd says, when is the heat index going down?
Well, it's a little bit down. It's a little bit down today. But again, my concern is that it's probably going to be peaking again this weekend. We're going to be in the mid-90s tomorrow, probably upper 90s Friday, and upper 90s Saturday. So I'm concerned about the heat index somewhere on Friday and Saturday. It could get above 110 degrees again.
I felt like I needed to pull my First Alert weather app when you were thinking.
No, it's just looking at when the hot weather's coming back in. Yeah.
Okay. Another personal question from our Ask the Experts page.
You never told me there would be personal questions. It's supposed to be professional only.
Surprise.
Yeah. What you got?
What are your top 3 restaurants?
Oh, wow. Okay.
A fun one. Something you really enjoy besides weather.
Wow. Okay, well, I got to tell you, I don't know that I can adequately address them all. I think Mississippi has some of the best restaurants in the country. In the metro area, I may wind up having more than 3 when we're done.
Yeah, because it doesn't specify whether it's local or national.
Oh, that's true. All right, well, let's stay local for a second. I love the local restaurants we have here in Jackson. I'm a huge fan of Manship. I'm a huge fan of Aplos. Okay, very good. I'm a huge fan of Roosters.
Oh, yeah.
Love
Shout out to Nathan.
Love that chicken cutlet.
It's good.
As far as Mexican goes, Jose's in Pearl. As far as Chinese goes, David, where do you think it is? Come on. One guess, David. Chinese? One guess. You know me. What's the one? There's one place that stands out for Chinese.
Look, I knew you were not going to be able to give a top three. He's giving you
Ichiban. Okay. Wow, the suspense almost killed me, literally.
They're going to give you top three of each category.
I also like Cultivation Food Hall. I love what's going on there. Right. I like Beagle Bagel.
Yeah.
I've been eating a Beagle Bagel for the same thing, by the way, for 20-something years.
What is that?
It's the club. Okay. And the girls at the Beagle Bagel, I drive them crazy every time I see them.
I don't doubt that.
But I always get the same thing. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. We got some good food up here. Darwell's has some really good food.
Yeah.
You know
that's from
the coast.
The coast.
Shout out to him. He just had a birthday,
Beach.
by the way.
Mm-hmm. Happy birthday, belated.
Oh, barbecue. I love my Hamels.
Oh gosh.
I love what's down in Florence, Berries. I'm done looking for you for any help. You're not helping me at all. I think David fell asleep.
We went to
about
the
10
Berries
minutes
in McGee during Three
we
on the
did.
Road.
That's right. I forgot about that.
Good.
We did. And we tried to do, Kelly, we tried to do the buffet as a team. And you failed miserably. I don't know what happened with you. You went up, you put like 3 little things on your plate, and I'm like loading up, and you're just like, I'm getting so full. She had like 1 hush puppy, and I'm like, I'm not full at all.
It was a stuffed crab or something.
Is that what it was? We went for seafood
I had
night?
like 3. It might have
been. I don't know. But the reality is, I just want to make sure I'm covering all my bases here of restaurants.
Normally I could have kept up with you. I think it was at being out all day and hot or something.
Maybe that's what it was. Okay, I'll cut you some slack on that. But we just have so many good restaurants in the area, really. Little Willie's has great barbecue too. Mm-hmm. They have these tamales. You like tamales? I'm done talking to you. You like tamales?
I really like Highland Mouse tamales too. They use turkey.
I forgot about that.
I pointed this way. It's like right down the street.
It's on the other side of the building here. It's on the other side of the wall. We've got our own Highland Mouse kiosk. But there are a lot of great restaurants. I feel bad if I missed any.
I know. I hope you don't make anybody upset. I'm sure he loves you too.
Have you been to the Cultivation Food Hall? You been over there? Cultivation Food Hall?
I have not.
David, you been over to Cultivation?
And I'm going to be in trouble because I said I was going. Thanks for putting that out there.
It's really good. No, it's really good. A lot of different offerings right there. Ariella's Deli is really good. Boca Pizza is really good. There's a lot of good things there. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. What about outside of Mississippi?
Outside of Mississippi, I love Texas de Brazil, which is a little Brazilian steakhouse.
Where's that?
There's a few of them. There's one in Baton Rouge. I think there's one in Memphis. But it's really good. I like Cheesecake Factory. I think I get the same thing all the time there, so I don't know. I like Copeland's, which is in Louisiana, if you know that. There's a lot of good. I mean, I don't travel that much, but those are probably. I like to try different food when I'm in a different city. Like if I'm in South Florida, I travel there quite a bit. So I used to live in Florida, and South Florida you can try Peruvian, Ecuadorian. I mean, there's so many different cultures of foods there that are really good. So.
Okay. Well, Mr. Jerry Rowells is getting upset with us. He says, "Who cares about bagels?" And he's asked a few times what's going on with the weather.
Well.
So let's let Mr. Jerry know.
What's going on with the weather and who cares about bagels? Okay. The weather is today. Those showers are winding down because this front's moving into the area. So the next couple of days, it'll keep us drier. It'll keep us a little quieter, but the temperatures are not going to go down very much. Today it feels nice out because we've got the cloud cover, but probably when it comes to tomorrow, we're going to be looking at just drier conditions out there, and the same is true on Friday.
Okay. He was upset. He saw the Wake Anchorman and wanted the forecast, right? Mm-hmm. There you go, sir. Okay, and Monica Henson says, is it going to rain in the Florence-Richland area?
Right now, let me see. I'm going to pop open the app.
Okay.
I'm going to cheat. By the way, I told you I'd give you 20 minutes of my time. How are we doing?
Oh, you're good.
I'm joking. I know. Looks like all the rain's over for Florence. Is that what she was asking about, Florence? Yep.
Florence-Richland area.
Yeah, it looks like all the rain's over for today.
You're good, Monica.
Yep.
All right. So back to the questions from the Ask the Experts page. Well, the next one's about weather. There's another one about food, actually. They ask, what is your favorite food, and do you cook?
I do cook, but so rarely. I could probably, if I'm cooking, I'm actually going to do a good job. But I do it so rarely. I cook I cook seafood. I do a really good job with steaks. So I do steak, seafood.
I'm gonna try to make steak in my Instant Pot tonight. I just got an Instant Pot.
That's
I've
what you were
got
talking
several
about. That
recipes.
are you doing like? Is that where you do everything in one pot?
You can, yes. Makes it so much
amazing.
easier, and it's fast.
Wow.
I made mashed potatoes in 4 minutes the other day, and they were incredible.
Really?
Yes.
How much is an Instant Pot these days?
I'll Google it while you
Okay,
talk.
thank you. So yeah, I can cook pasta, steaks, seafood, and I usually do a pretty good job. But I just don't. It's just me. So you know, when I'm just it's a lot of effort to go through. I want to master cooking gumbo. I think if I could
I'll help
master.
you out.
Okay, see if I could master the art of cooking gumbo, I probably wouldn't feel the need to leave the
Ooh.
house.
I wonder if there's
Yeah.
a gumbo for the Instant Pot. I'm sure there is. Let me know if you know.
Do.
I'm all about the Instant Pot right now.
Do.
I'm gonna go get a 6-quart. I have the big 8-quart. and I
Waverly,
want-
the tyrant boss that's overseeing this, says we have to get out.
We'll be
So,
fine. We have a few
okay.
more questions. She said we have about 9 minutes.
Do.
So
Look at
I'm
that.
wondering what
She's
this one is
pricing.
at Kohl's. It says $59.99,
Wow.
but that must be a really small one.
Sell us your Instapots.
I think
Is
they-
it Instant
I
Pot or
think they
Instapot?
go upwards of about $130 instant.
Whoa, take it easy.
instant
$130.
pots.
Whoa, what's going on? I mean, come on.
Yeah.
What other questions do we have?
All right, let's see. We've got. It was about the weather app. How can you explain how to use radar on the weather app?
It's pretty simple, actually. Just you pop that puppy open. Oops, hold on. So easy that I even can't do it. So you pop it open. Ta-da!
Can they see that, Dave? You might have to walk over there.
I'm not. Yeah. And then you just literally click on radar.
Mm-hmm.
And then you could just with your two fingers here, you could just make it bigger, make it smaller, whatever you want to do. This is America. There's so many different options. And then
We're all green in Jackson.
yeah, Prentice is getting some rain right now, but things are quiet. Not much else is happening in Jackson. Really nasty weather down. Wow, look at what's going on
So
down.
the color coding
Look
down
there by
here
the
lets
coast.
you know.
You have not updated your
press.
app, or you are using the wrong colors. So what I would encourage you to do, and I don't
need
need to.
to
I'm
update?
sorry, I don't mean
I
to.
thought I had automatic update.
You might actually have it.
I'm
okay.
too busy to
I
do
don't.
it
I don't mean
myself.
to, I'm sorry to chastise you in front of the large audience that we have. What do we have? 3 people watching. But there's a setting where you can change the background colors of your map, and that's why I
Okay.
changed mine to gray.
I'll let you do this
So,
when we get done.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, let's get everyone's questions answered before we have to go.
Mm-hmm.
They say, I know that you've worked all over the place in your career. You mentioned this earlier.
Yeah.
Does location have anything to do with the difficulty of predicting the weather?
Yes. Here it's difficult because we're so close to the Gulf of Mexico. We are affected by lots of different weather patterns. Wintertime, we've got the fronts coming in, also meeting up with the Gulf moisture. It's very complicated, which also makes spring and fall complicated too. Why? Because they're transition months. And when you have transition months, the weather can go from extreme to extreme. So that's part of the reason. Summer, not so much. We know what to expect here in Mississippi. So.
Okay. This is a great question. You lead with the statement at first, you lead such an amazing weather team.
Yes, I do. I really do.
Can you tell us something we don't know about each one, and do you have any fun stories you can share?
So I could share fun stories about each one of them. Patrick does a great job. I really enjoy watching him in the morning. I watch. I'm a viewer as much as I'm work here. So I really enjoy watching him in the morning. I think he just does a tremendous job. He's knowledgeable. He's got a good sense of humor. We have a good time. When I was just talking to him a little while ago, I always have a good time talking to him. So sometimes I'll call him. We'll do a little weather briefing in the morning for we have different weather situations going on. So that's Patrick.
Okay.
Michael Haynes, same thing. I love giving Michael Haynes a hard time. I worked with Michael previously, so I've known him for a little bit. Michael is very serious, and then I can crack him, which is fun to get him to laugh. Rachel, great. She just does great at her job as well, just as like Michael. But Rachel does great at her job. Great personality, positive attitude. She's such a great attitude, and we also have a good time clowning around. Also,
Yeah.
there was one night where she was wrapping up all of her stuff, and she goes, "Well, now that I'm leaving, I guess we're gonna have all kinds of severe weather and tornadoes break out." And I was like, what a horrible thing to say. And she goes, okay, have a good night. And she left. And we still laugh about that now because I'm like, why would you leave me with that?
Yeah, is humor a prerequisite when you're looking at...
You have to with what we do. Because you have to understand, live TV is, you think it's all pre-planned. No, it's not. A lot of times what we're doing changes based on the weather.
Especially with weather, because it can be changing.
We can be going into the weather forecast, and all of a sudden a severe thunderstorm warning gets issued, or a tornado warning gets issued, and everything changes.
Yep. Speaking of Rachel, she will be on Ask the Experts next Tuesday.
Okay, great.
Tuesday at, I believe, 2 o'clock.
Awesome. Yeah. Fantastic.
You can go to our Ask the Experts page on WLBT.com to check me on that, because it may be 10 a.m.
Okay.
All right. And the last question from the page is, if you had a week to travel anywhere in the state, where would you go and why?
If I had a week, probably I like the coast. I just like being around water. I'm being honest. I like being around water. And I like the Mississippi Gulf Coast because every town is a little different. They're not all the same. They actually have all different unique offerings. And so I'm a big water buff. I like being around the water. But I've traveled everywhere in the state.
There's amazing places to eat there, too.
There's amazing places. But even what's great about Mississippi is you can go anywhere, get out of the car, and probably strike up a conversation. And someone's going to say, hey, do you know? Or I know. Or you know this person. I mean, it's crazy. I ran into someone the other day, and they're related to a good friend of mine. It was just so random. But that happens a lot in Mississippi. So I will tell you, if I have a week, probably the coast. But I've had a couple friends, and I tell them, if you're visiting Mississippi, get out there and explore it. Go up to Tupelo. Go up to Oxford, Starkville.
Oh, yeah.
Go up to the Mississippi Delta. There's some amazing places there. I've been to Indianola and made some great friends just from being up there in a short period of time. So Natchez is beautiful.
You don't meet strangers.
Brookhaven's great. Macomb's great.
Look, so I am a coast girl, but I was born in Brookhaven.
Did you know that, David?
Real quick,
Did you know that? Did you know? Okay.
We're almost out of time, so I want you to answer Miss Debbie Newton's question. She says hello from Yazoo County, and she wants to know about the Yazoo weather.
Well, your weather's looking good now. All the storms have passed you by, but it's a little cooler today. But it won't be like this tomorrow and Friday. It's going to be in the mid to upper 90s. Okay.
One more interesting question before we go. Adam asked, "What's the longest shift you've ever worked?"
Great question, Adam. Honestly, this one, I would say I came into work at about 10 a.m. and left the next morning at 5 a.m. So what is it, 12 to 14, 19-hour shift.
Do the math.
I wasn't looking so good. I needed a bad shave. And, we had some tornadoes. We had a few rounds of tornadoes affecting the area. So
Great.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for coming on Ask the Experts.
Thanks for having me on your wonderful program.
It has been fun.
I laughed, I cried, it became a part of me.
I'm sorry we're out of time for more questions, but you can send them to our Ask the Experts page on WLBT.com. Maybe we can have Dave back sometime.
Will you please put a link on here so people can pick up an Instant Pot?
I can do that. And if you have recipes, let me know. Tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. we will have the WLBT anchor Cheryl Lassiter at 10 in the morning. Yes. And you can send her questions still.
She does a great job.
She really does.
From the Alert Center.
Yes, and it's in here now.
What? This is
it's
the
over
Alert
here on
Center?
the wall.
It is. I had no idea. I don't get out much. Sorry.
Thank you all for your questions. Thank you for watching. This has been WLBT's Ask the Experts.